The third order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Trade and Investment on the screening of Dr. Tunji Bello for appointment as the Chief Executive Officer and Executive Vice Chairman of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Mr. President, the fourth order of the day as well is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Trade and Investment on the screening of Ewalefoh for appointment as Director General, Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Most Distinguished Senator Sulaiman Umar Sadiq, the chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of both reports.
Sadiq Sulaiman Umar, I represent the good and decent people of Kwara North, and we are. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Trade and Investment on the confirmation of the nomination of Dr. Bello Olatunji for appointment as the Chief Executive Officer, Vice Chairman of Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC. I also rise to move that the Senate equally do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Trade and Investment on the confirmation of the nomination of Dr. Jobson Ewalefoh for appointment as the Director General, Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC. I so move, Mr. President.
Colleagues, my name is Senator Adetokunbo Abiru. I rise to support the motion by my colleague, Senator Sadiq Umar, for us to receive the report of both the confirmation of Mr. Tunji Bello as the Chief Executive Officer and Executive Vice Chairman of Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, and equally the confirmation of nomination of Dr. Jobson Ewalefoh as the Director General of Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission. I so second. Thank you, Mr. President, and my distinguished colleague.
My distinguished colleagues, the report of the Senate Committee on Trade and Investment on the screening of the nomination of Mr. Olatunji Bello for appointment as Chief Executive Officer and Executive Vice Chairman of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. The Senate, at the sitting on the Thursday, 27 June 2024, considered the request of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for the confirmation of the nomination of Mr. Olatunji Bello for appointment as the Chief Executive Officer of FCCPC. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, we've received all the documents from Mr. Tunji Bello, and he was invited for screening on the Monday, 8 July 2024. The nominee appeared before the committee for the screening exercise. The committee interviewed the nominee, and he responded to questions regarding his qualification, experience, suitability, competence, and integrity to assume the position of Chief Executive Officer, Executive Vice Chairman of Commission as follows. Recommendation, Mr. President. At the end of the screening exercise, the committee deliberated on the nominee's suitability for appointment as Chief Executive Vice Chairman of the Commission. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, the nominee has been found suitable and is hereby recommended that it should be approved. I so present, Mr. President. Yeah, of course. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, again, in the same vein, the Senate referred the confirmation of Dr. Jobson Ewalefoh for appointment by Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He was equally invited. He came with his documentation the committee screening on Wednesday, 17 July 2024. He appeared before the committee for screening. The committee interviewed the nominee and he responded to all the questions. His background information and experience is in the report. Generally, at the end of the screening exercise, the committee deliberated on the nominee's suitability for appointment as Director General of Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC, and made the following observation: that the nominee has satisfied the requirements of Section 153 and 156 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. No record of any no petition against him, security agencies, was all clear, and therefore the Senate Committee on Trade and Investment, having screened the nominee, carefully scrutinized his credentials, and being satisfied with his performance, experiences, and qualifications, that the Senate do confirm the nomination of Dr. Johnson Osiedo for appointment as the Director General of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission. We so move, Mr. President. My distinguished colleagues, on behalf of the committee, I wish to sincerely thank the Senate for the opportunity to serve in this regard. Thank you, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, the Senate and the Committee of the Whole considered the reports of the Committee on Trade and Investment on the confirmation of Mr. President nominees for appointment as Chief Executive Officer, Executive Chairman, Vice Chairman of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, and approved the nomination of Dr. Bello Olatunji as the Chief Executive Officer, Executive Vice Chairman of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Distinguished colleagues, the Senate.
Just to show you, sir, we're not moving into the there are errors. Carry me and myself against Monday.
Okay. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate and the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Trade and Investment on the confirmation of Mr. President nominee for appointment as the Director General of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission and approved the nomination of Dr. Jobson Eseodion Ewalefoh as the Director General, Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Will the Senate confirm the appointment of Dr. Bello Olatunji for appointment as the Chief Executive Officer, Executive Vice Chairman of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission? Those in favor of the confirmation say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Dr. Bello Olatunji is hereby confirmed as the Chief Executive Officer, Executive Vice Chairman of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the nomination of Jobson Ewalefoh for appointment as Director General, Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nomination of Jobson Ewalefoh is hereby confirmed as Director General, Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission. Leader of the Senate. And investment on the report that they have brought before the Nigerian Senate, painstaking lead on, very thorough job on the two confirmations. That of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission Director General, as well as the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. I've gone through the report, and I believe strongly that our dear brother, Senator Dr. Sadiq Umar, and his committee deserve commendation. I also want to thank all my colleagues for their contributions towards the process of this confirmation. I wish the confirmed appointees luck in their endeavors and pray that they will serve their country selflessly, sacrificially, and help to improve the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President and this administration for the betterment of our dear nation. I congratulate them on behalf of the 10th Senate and wish them well in their new endeavors. Yes, Leader of the Senate.
Your Excellency, the Senate